Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Co-op 64. We're doing a console tier list. We haven't done a bracket or tier list in a minute. Thought we'd bring it back after the SGF craziness season. Here we are. Are you excited?
I'm excited. Obviously, you know me. I like talking industry and predictions and all that good stuff. But I'm excited to be here today, hanging out with you and our illustrious chat, who is coming in with a lot of subs that we are not able to read them all out because we are shooting the podcast. But shout out to everyone that is subscribing. All the first-time chats. We're so happy to be shooting it live with you guys.
Live and uncut.
Oh.
If things get weird, things stay weird.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. A little bit of housekeeping for you just to get through. We stream Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. We're playing a lot of fun, exciting games. I'm playing Hollow Knight. Nick's playing Cuphead. Brady's about to start Uncharted 3. I'm finishing up God of War. It's a lot of fun. So go check that out. Dude, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10.
Kingdom Hearts 2, baby.
We're about to
Are
do
you
Kingdom Hearts 2.
kidding me?
It's going to be fun.
Me and Connor haven't had this moment. It's been a very long time since we've had a game where you and I are on the couch together. It's been since you've left my apartment has been a big part of that because we went from playing games together on the couch, hanging out together literally every single Wednesday because I live here and you play games here.
And Nick can't help himself but be on the couch.
I mean, I'm not doing anything better. Let's be real. I'd rather hang out with chat than like sit in my room. And so, it's pretty sad to not have that. But we've been working the schedule in a way where Connor will only have to come here Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday streams, he will not be on for Uncharted 3. And then we will be streaming from home for a bit, all of us. But we'll all be on camera still for group streams later in the summer. Going to be a ton of fun there.
Right, we'll make it happen. We'll make it work. So join the Twitch stream if you haven't. We are currently running a survey to get your feedback. That is in the link tree in the bio on TikTok, as well as fan voting for the top 10 list. Submit your most overrated games of all time. I think we're about to jump into the next one. We haven't decided on what the next one is going to be, but fan voting for the list. We want to hear, make your voice heard on the top 10 list. Make a better list than Game Rant ever could.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that. Check out the merch in the link tree in the bio. We have t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs if you're interested in that. And finally, join the Discord with over 1,300 at this time, almost 13,500. 100 Co-op 64 community members chatting, hanging out, playing games together, talking games. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't. Let's get into this. Nick, you ready to go?
Let's do it. Just a little bit of a run of show. We will have my Erdtree review. It will not be it will have the short form review that we shoot for the TikTok and everything, and that will be great. That's gonna be fun and everything. At the end of this, it will be spoiler free. And then we're going to talk a lot of Erdtree after the fact. Like, I assume, no joke, that it will be one of our longer discussion-based reviews. Right. Connor asking me questions, stuff like that. So it will be a little bit of a longer conversation, but we understand that reviews might not be for everyone. And, like, certain people don't give a flying fuck about Erdtree. So we're trying to do a little bit of something different with having a headline before our major review. So you can go and always expect the casual gaming conversation to have something more casual to discuss. And then hopping into the more in-depth reviews. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're so happy to have you all here today. It's going to be a blast. Do we need to clear this and get ready?
We think the most important thing when it comes to our podcast is that it needs to be, there's so many podcasts that I listen to that they post a review or like a discussion on a game I have no interest in that I was looking forward to. Like, I need this today so I can get through the day, and all of a sudden it's totally washed away because they're talking about an MMORPG that I've never played before. And it's like, well, now there goes that hour of entertainment that I was going to have at work. So we always want to make sure that we have something for you to enjoy. The hot takes, the tier list are the hot takes in the draft are almost always going to be entertaining. But we want to, if it's a review for a game that you're not interested in, we want to always have something else for you in there, for you to like have something to enjoy.
So what we've been playing is something that we'll bring up often as like something that we can discuss, or an industry topic. Like, this goes back to certain things that we talked about on the podcast we shot before, which goes up after. We listen to you guys' feedback, and we understand that you guys do enjoy me and Connor talking about the industry. That was one of the biggest highlights for the people that responded to the survey thus far. And so adding stuff like that, hey, let's talk a little bit of industry before a review or after a review. Hey, let's talk about what we've been playing before or after a review. We think it's very important so you guys can be entertained even if you don't give a flying fuck about the game we're reviewing.
Right on. Okay, let's get into it. Move the chairs out of the way and get all ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Transition period. For those who are the audio listeners, we are standing up and getting ready to go. Nick is moving his chair. I am unscrewing the base of this microphone.
Oh,
Nick
man.
is Cobra Kai. Are we too high?
We're a little bit.
Do you want to tilt it up a little bit?
Yeah, we can tilt it up a little bit.
Yeah. Get a little
Get
tilted.
these towers tilted.
Oh my goodness. Nick likes to keep the base of the microphone on, and that freaks me out a little bit. I don't like that. Oh, I always...
Whoa.
Okay, good. Damon.
You guys get to see my little bit of the entranceway to my kitchen. Oh man, dude, it's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, I know. I'm stoked. We haven't done this in a minute.
It feels good.
So this is the tier list for consoles. How are we doing this? Is it just library, or is UI involved? Internet, online play? I think it's the whole shebang.
It's the whole vibe.
Influence.
Connor. Yeah, we can throw influence in there a little bit.
Yeah,
we can have some fun. Like this is going to be one of those things of. We say it all the time when we're shooting these. You and I, we're God. We can fucking decide whatever we want. If you want to go and put the PS1 in F tier, and I agree, it doesn't matter what the chat says. It's going in F tier. But when we do disagree, we need your help, chat. We will be putting up polls when Connor and I disagree. Let's just say, hypothetical console, the Xbox original. I want it B tier. Connor wants it in A tier. We'll turn it to you guys, the chat. And we will allow you guys to vote where it goes if we disagree. But then there's things like S tier and B tier. Him and I can probably find a compromise and just put it in A. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're happy to have you here.
All right, so let's kick it off with the Atari 2600. Nick wants to go in order of time.
Yeah, I think that's a decent way to do it, just so we can like have a little bit more varied compared to Nintendo to PlayStation.
Atari 2600, a console that I have no experience touching. I've seen these games throughout history pretty regularly. It is a very important console.
Yes.
Undeniably.
Yes.
Like what it did for console gaming in the living room. Where are you thinking? C tier?
I think for the iconic aspect of it alone, you just throw it in C tier.
Yeah,
but it's not
got
a great
that
console.
wood finish
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Oh my god! So we're going to
I would play the Atari 2600.
Okay,
Why not?
Atari
C tier. Yeah,
2600.
let's just toss it there. Easy. We cannot currently see the chat because the troll 115 has spammed one bit over and over again.
He's sprinkling those biddies out there. Atari 2600 in the C tier. Okay, let me.
Why not? Why not?
So then we're going to go to the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
C tier.
You're out of your mind.
NES? Not SNES, just the NES Classic.
Yes.
It's like there's
C tier?
You other than Mario, what are we talking about here?
Castlevania.
Yeah,
The
like
Legend
original
of Zelda.
Yeah, the original
Kirby,
Legend of Zelda.
Metroid.
Yeah, but it's not Super Metroid.
Duck Hunt.
We're talking about just like the not best versions of
Kid
these
Icarus.
games. Okay, my question to you
Final
is
Fantasy.
Yeah, C or B tier.
Dragon Warrior.
Are you talking A tier?
Yes.
Connor, we're talking about there's so many better console lineups after the NES.
People would argue that the NES is S tier. We're going to make people mad by not putting an S tier. You wanted to put it in C tier?
Yeah. There's so many better lineups, dude. You're telling me, Connor, I think, well, we got like 30 plus consoles here. I think I would take 25 of the libraries over the NES. 25. Am I wrong? Or would you not take 25 of the libraries
So
over?
what's the right?
We can throw it in B.
B? Okay. All right. NES.
Should controllers be part of the tier list ranking as well? No,
Yeah.
that's a different video.
Oh, okay.
Well, but like it'll be included just because it's more fun to play with that
The
controller.
NES controller
but like,
is bad.
yeah, that's or the NES
I
controller.
mean, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said SNES.
All
My
right.
bad.
So then do we go on to the... Is there something from this era that you would consider to be the same era as NES? No,
No.
not really. So then we go on to the SNES.
Sure.
I've come down on this console a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like...
I mean, the heat is the heat, though.
Yes,
when
that's the
when it's
problem.
good, it's like really
It's
freaking
really
good.
good.
Super Metroid.
Insane.
Come on.
Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island. Final Fantasy 4 and 6.
For me, Final Fantasy 6
Chrono
being
Trigger,
1, 2.
Earthbound.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's really
So
good.
I think it's
and I think it's
A or S tier.
Okay.
I'm okay with A tier if you're down on it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
But like for me, that's the big reason when I was talking about the NES. I'm like, the SNES just clears it in every possible way of library and fun that you can have this year.
It has Goof Troop, Nick. Like that's the big deciding factor. I think A tier is good. So A tier, we're going
A tier
with
is
that.
fine. Yeah.
Here's the thing about the SNES and why I've come down on it over the last few weeks. I keep going to game stores and I check SNES, and I am regularly like, I got nothing that I want on this right now.
Totally. By the way, Lawrence calls out for visual viewers that the B tier has a glare on it. We understand with the lighting setup we have, something will no matter what have a glare on it when we have a whiteboard like this. It's just part of the evil of our low budget studio, but that just sort of is how it is.
F-Zero, true.
F-Zero, baby.
All right. And then do we go into the Genesis? I believe so. The Sega Genesis, I think, is weaker. I think it has to be weaker than the NES.
100%.
So, but does that mean it's in C tier necessarily?
Yes.
It's got some better versions of SNES games on
Totally.
the Genesis.
Totally.
It's got the blood in Mortal Kombat, Nick.
I understand, but when we're talking about library versus library, exclusives versus exclusives, especially, like, it's a C tier console. I think you
Nick,
can make a claim for D tier.
It has Sonic.
I understand. That's why I'm saying it might be F tier after you saying Sonic. But I'm okay with C tier. I would not put it higher than C tier.
That's fine. I can live with
Yeah, C or D is what John Roach is saying. The GOAT. Genesis could be D tier. Exactly. Helmet Nachos. Exactly.
Is it G? Is that spelled right?
Yeah, that seems right. I'm a Christian. I don't know how to spell Genesis. There's no Y.
It's two E's.
Oh, damn.
Really?
That looks weird. Someone, that's right. Shout out to chat.
Yeah.
And then shout out to Dice Hands for everyone saying Genesis. He just comes in with genitals, which is very funny. All right, what's next? What do you got for me, Connor?
Next up, I would say is we're gonna do the N64 generation, N64, PS1. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, and then the Saturn. Yeah.
Do you want to just start with Saturn just to get out of the way?
That's F tier.
I was gonna say potentially D tier, but I'm fine.
It's F tier. It's not a good console.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to all the new follows and subs. You guys are all amazing. It means the world to us. We understand that we can't talk to chat as much as we like to during a podcast, but shout out to you all. Thank you so much.
Already. N64.
N64 tier list. I think we're gonna make some people angry, but like we gotta.
Do you and I agree on this?
I think we might. On 3. It's the beat after 3. So go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
C.
It's Ocarina alone puts it in B tier.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Its highs are so high. It has
so high.
It has literally 200 games on it.
Yeah.
Like there's not that many.
Totally.
Games.
I understand, but in Mario 64, Ocarina, GoldenEye alone are like the S of the S games ever.
It has like 3 or 4 great games.
No, it has 3 or 4 goats. Like goats, dude.
Mario Kart 64,
Sure.
not good. It's
good. It's
so the worst
good.
Mario Kart.
It's good.
So there's that. Diddy Kong Racing is way better.
That's
so there's
more
that
fun.
going for it. GoldenEye doesn't hold up at all in my
I
opinion.
think it does. But I also just played that game when I was like 12, so I just love that game still. But yeah.
Does the controller come into consideration? No. I think it should.
Sure. Well, it does a little bit.
It's the worst controller ever. It is.
I could not let this not be in B.
All right. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's still going to piss people off.
Oh my gosh.
PlayStation 1.
I'm okay with it.
S tier?
Yeah.
It's the best PlayStation console.
I don't think it's the best PlayStation console.
It is, Nick.
I think the PS4 is better.
Where are going to put the PS2 then?
Not in S tier.
I've come around on the PS2 a lot lately.
Yeah. PS2's unbelievable.
The PS2 just has so many good games.
My question though
Are
is,
they all great? Like the greatest games of all time? Like PS4 has a bunch of the greatest games of all time.
The hard part is I'm coming off of playing Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. I'm like, oh shit, like this console's gas.
The PS1 is so good if you like JRPGs, man. And then even if you don't, Crash, Spyro, Twisted Metal, Parasite Eve, fucking Gran Turismo.
I want it. I'm between S and A tier really hard on this one.
If we put it to a poll, it's gonna go A.
I know.
Nobody agrees with me on this.
I know. So my question though is, do I put it to a poll and just make it A tier myself? Chat. Do I put it to a poll? I don't know.
I'm okay with putting it at A. Honestly,
Okay,
I would personally put it.
Okay, let's do A. That makes it easier on me because I don't want to be rude, but like I don't think it's an S tier console. Now thinking about the PS2.
All right, let me get organized here. You talk to the people.
Yeah, I think that when you're talking about the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Nintendo consoles, it's going to be really difficult to, at the end of the day, have certain consoles in S tier. S tier is meant for like 3 or 4 consoles, and I think PlayStation has a couple S tier consoles outside of the PS1.
Right. Okay, GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 is the next generation.
Let's start with the X. Let's get Team Green on the board.
The question for me is the Xbox better than the N64?
No.
So does that move it down to C tier?
It's between C and B. That's where like I
one of the
originally
great
was.
games on Xbox, it's
Halo,
the original Xbox.
Yeah.
The original Fable, I don't even think people consider that one great. They say 2 is great.
Yeah.
Which is 2 on the original Xbox? No, that's 360. And then you have stuff like Jade Empire and KOTOR as well.
Yeah. My thing at the end of the day, when you're talking about libraries, we're only pulling out 1 or 2 good games. I think N64 you can pull out like 5 or 6
great games.
Like I'm talking like high end, like shit, this is unbelievable. I'm fine with C tier.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've agreed very much.
Yeah, this has been calm. I think it's going to get less calm when we get to certain the next generation, I should say.
All right. Xbox completed.
Let's go to the Cube. Let's talk the Cube.
This is such a fascinating one.
Yeah.
It's one of those libraries that's small. It's similar to the PS1 where it's got a smaller library, but it's just got so many fucking bangers, dude. It's definitely better than the NES and the N64, objectively, in my opinion. We're talking A or S. I don't think it's S.
I don't think it's S either. GameCube's unbelievable. When it's good, it's good. Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, are you fucking kidding me? But
Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, well, I was about to say.
Mario Party 4 through 8.
My biggest issue 47? with it is the biggest issue with that console is the fact that it doesn't have a great Mario game. Outside, I'm talking platforming Mario.
Yeah, well, you don't like Sunshine. A lot of people like Sunshine a lot.
Yeah, those people haven't played Sunshine in the last 10 years. If you play Sunshine this year or in the last 3 years, you will understand that it is objectively the worst Mario game.
Double Dash, F-Zero, Pikmin, Metroid Prime, Smash, Melee.
I know. Do you want to? I think it's
A.
A is great. Yeah, we're in on that.
All right.
I was never thinking B tier, really, like, because it's just better than the N64, like, substantially.
Substantially better than the N64.
And I do think the N64, great Mendoza line. Great, like, hey, this is what's going to decide. Is it better than the N64? Down here, worse, up there.
PlayStation 2.
All right, let's have a conversation. PlayStation 2 has one of the deepest catalogs ever. It's deep.
I've come so far around on this, dude.
Yeah.
Getting into collecting for the PS2 lately, and I've always collected for the PlayStation 2, but every single time I go into the store, I'm like, oh, fucking this game. Oh, this game.
Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Resident Evil 4,
Ratchet and Clanks, Sly Coopers, Jack and Dexter's, Gran Turismo,
some Crash,
fucking Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy. Yeah, I think
we just do S tier.
Yeah, I think we have to.
I don't know if it's the top of S tier, but I can't not put in S tier because it's just too deep. There's too many fucking games, and a lot of them are fucking unbelievable.
There's Shrek 2, dude.
And Madagascar,
and The Bouncer.
We're having fun.
Come on, Drakengard.
We're riffing for 2.
Dude, yeah. Okami, yeah. So many great games. Next generation, we are moving. Well, let's hit some handhelds real fast. Oh, we've completely missed the handhelds from previous gens.
Yeah.
So let's run through them real fast. The Game Boy, including the Game Boy Color here. The original, not the advanced. D tier.
I was about to say
there is
C tier.
Like the Game Boy is Pokemon and Tetris, the original.
Yep, that's it.
There's not that many good Game Boy games.
Here's the thing though. Does Pokemon and Tetris, I think that's as good as Xbox.
No, it's not. Xbox has way more game. Like his Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
There's a ton of third-party stuff that Sands of Time.
I have a question for you. What would you rather own? like you're on a desert
That's
island.
totally different.
Atari
That's
6 or Atari.
But this is
26.
influence as well. I think
But Game Boy is
pretty
influence
influential.
as well.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to not.
I think it's D tier, Nick. I still think there's still more games on the Atari 2600 that people remember, like actively.
Than Pokemon.
Older people, maybe not our generation, but generally speaking, yes.
I'll give you D tier on this one
Because
I'll
Game
let
Boy
it
Advance
happen.
is going to be different.
General G Dog, a little bit of both. It's ranking consoles based on catalogs and impact. I think catalogs is the main
Catalogs,
driving force.
impact, then like also you got to factor in like the UI, the internet,
The way that
aspects.
the amount of fun you can have with that console is a big portion of it for me. All right, you want to get to the next one?
Game Boy Advance.
Now we're talking about a fucking
Great
handheld.
console. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's as good as the DS,
No.
but I do think that it's good.
Yes.
I'm between here.
I think I would go B tier here.
I was thinking C tier.
Okay, let's put it to a poll.
Let's put this one to a poll.
Yeah.
Can we get a mod?
Game Boy Advance between B and C tier.
I think that's legitimately a tough call.
Nick, this has Chain of Memories on it. Do we have a mod in the chat? Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Nick, can you get the poll going?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
There was mods in the chat earlier, and then they disappear right when we need them. Right when they needed him most, he vanished. Shout out to... Oh, somebody already did it. Somebody already did it. Thank you. Appreciate it. B or C. Yeah. Ooh, we battling.
We got a battle.
B is clearing right now.
Taking it away.
Not even close. Xbox deserves at least B. Just Xbox Live, Halo, Fusion Frenzy, and Forza put it up there. You got to. It's all about comparison.
You got to compare.
You got to compare.
Yeah,
Like,
it's.
Is it even close to the PS? Is it better than the GameCube, or even close to the GameCube? No.
No.
Is it better than the N64? No.
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 And it's close, but no. Oh, we got a battle.
Golden Sun. Yep.
Golden Sun, more
Minish
like Golden
Cap.
Fun, dude. GBA library goes nuclear. It's a great way to call it.
It does. The Game Boy library is
Dude,
fantastic.
I have a 2-day work week, and I'm dreading these 2 days of work more than any
I have
5-day
a
work
3-day
week.
work week, and I'm so stoked that I only have 3 days.
Oh, dude, I'm
my
so
goodness.
miserable.
Alrighty, Game Boy Advance is ending up in the B tier. 64% goes to GBA. Okie doke. All right, Game Boy Advance. And then now we're going to stick in the handheld realm. We're going to go with the PlayStation Portable.
We're in the handheld division. Wait,
PSP.
PSP?
What are you thinking?
It's not good. It's not.
Are you serious?
I would go maybe C or B tier.
You can go fuck yourself. This is an A tier console.
The Vita.
This is an excellent console.
You go Rattle.
It's an A for the games?
Yeah.
Peace Walker, Loco
Yeah.
Roco, Patapon, Final Fantasy Tactics,
Yeah, but Tactics you don't
Ratchet and
associate
Clank,
to the PSP.
Echo Chrome.
Those are you didn't name a single besides Peace Walker banger.
These are all great games.
They're
dude.
great games.
Medal
Dude,
of Honor, like
yeah, that sounds like a B tier console to me.
Star Wars Battlefront, Force Unleashed.
Those are all B tier games, baby. PSP is D tier, C tier. That's what I'm talking about.
UMD movies. You can watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dude, we watched National Treasure on that
okay,
motherfucker
fine.
so many
yeah,
times.
fine. B. B?
B tier's fine. I could make a case for lower, but
Okay.
do we get to the OGDS?
We're about to. I didn't want to do 3 Nintendo consoles.
That's
in a row.
fair.
We are up for the Nintendo DS, the dual screen. What are you thinking on this one, Nick?
A tier.
S tier.
Damn.
It's the greatest handheld console of all time. It is. What would be better?
I know, but does that
3DS
but
doesn't
does that
clear it.
put it in S tier?
Yes.
Is it S tier handheld console? I don't know if it's an S tier console.
Yes, it is. It is excellent, dude.
Help me out. Like, why am I stuck on this? Because I'm just thinking about Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart on the back of the bus. But
Mario Kart, New Super Mario Bros,
Nintendo,
fantastic JRPG ports to this console.
That's my biggest thing, though. Original games that came out on this bad boy.
The Mario and Luigi games that are on there.
I know.
It's 358 over 2 days and recoded. What are you thinking, chat? A tier, S tier. Do you want to put it to a poll?
Yeah, can we put this one to a poll?
Professor Layton.
Please put it to the poll. Great Pokemon.
UI was decent. I think UI was great.
Pokemon was unbelievable on this console.
Oh my goodness.
Pokemon was unbelievable.
Crap.
Animal Crossing.
I forgot about that. Animal Crossing, Wild World.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It was a good time.
All right, can we get a poll going? Elite Beat Agents, fantastic. Best Pokemon on the DS, I agree with that take. Picto Chat on top. Just sending ranted stuff to each other.
I was too young to be sending ransom stuff. I got some ransom stuff sent to me that I didn't know.
I mean BUTTS. Just spelling butts. Like,
yo, dude, butts was a good one.
All right. DS tier, S or A tier. WarioWare, fantastic. Oh, my God.
See, these are all great games, but an S tier list needs to have, like, 5. Like, the PS2 has, like, multiple goaties, like, on there. Like, goats of all time.
But here's the... Nick, I understand that, but it is all relative. But, like... It's the best handheld console of all time.
Yes, but we're doing a console tier list.
Except for the Vita, maybe.
Why? You let the Vita die, Chad. We didn't.
I didn't. The best Kirby.
It's close.
You can record videos on the DS.
It's real close. Oh, shit. 1 vote difference right now on the voting.
How much longer do we have?
Like 5 seconds.
Wow. I cannot believe that I'm actually get this.
Are you?
I think so. Get your votes in.
It just switched. Oh my God!
Get your votes difference.
It's A tier.
Oh my God!
By the last second,
that went back and forth. My heart was racing. It was S tier for so long. My goodness.
By God.
By God.
By God.
All right, DS is going in the A tier.
Love it.
Let me clear this up
if it was like how good is the DS when it comes to a tier list for handhelds, it's an S tier handheld. But if we're talking consoles overall and libraries overall and everything, it's tough.
We've got the Dreamcast.
Dreamcast is solid.
It's good.
Solid.
I own a Dreamcast, and I go to the store and look at the Dreamcast games every single time, and I'm like, the Dreamcast has like 10 good games on it.
Real quick.
It also had a very short life cycle.
The 3DS is its own console. We have it listed out as its own console.
I think C tier, honestly.
I
don't know. I think it might be D tier actually, because it's not as good as the Xbox. It's not.
Do you think it's better than the Genesis?
No, Genesis is the greatest. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Genesis is the greatest Sega console.
Yeah, then D tier.
Yeah. Dreamcast.
Why not? There's a reason Sega doesn't make consoles no more, chat.
And it's really not the Dreamcast's fault, like, for being in D tier. It's just the fact that they abandoned it after 2 years.
Yeah. People are talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I almost bought, they had that at Nostalgic for $200. That's the best version of the game, the Dreamcast version. That might change, of course, but I did not pull trigger on it. All right.
Dice hands. We're not going to judge a console on how easy it was to pirate on top of it to burn a CD. That's wild.
All right. Next gen, we are going to Wii, PS3, Xbox 360.
Best generation ever?
No.
Across the board, those 3 together are not the best gen ever?
But they're all middling, at the very least.
Oh, I might leave the fucking set.
All right, where does the Wii go? Let's start with that.
Yeah, let's have some fun. A tier.
B tier.
I was gonna potentially make a claim for S tier, but I'll stick with A tier.
Okay, let's get it to a poll.
Oh, fuck
A or
you.
B tier? No, it's B tier.
Wii is so good, dude. Fucking the sports games alone are the most fun games maybe ever to this day.
They are very fun, but it's
Mario Kart Wii is
shallow.
An amazing Wii game. New Super Mario Bros. Is a blast. This is the most fun console ever. It's the most fun you can have. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
Twilight Princess, yep.
Dude, you're just listing bangers.
No, I'm not saying there's not bangers.
That's more bangers than the fucking GameCube has.
I think it's the top of the B tier.
That's more bangers than the GameCube. The Wii's a better console than the GameCube.
No, it is not.
Coming out swinging, baby.
You're out of your mind.
I have more fun playing Wii games than I do on the GameCube.
No.
Twilight Princess is on the GameCube too. That's true.
A tier? How we looking? Oh, it's a tight one again.
Actual games were not. I didn't see what that said, but
it also had a life cycle of literally like 4 years or 3 years, and then like it just became shovelware.
But the life cycle that it had was so much fun.
For
Animal
a while,
Crossing,
for a minute.
City Folk is
People
so much
stopped
fun.
having interest in the Wii after its first few years. The novelty wore off.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
The amount of fun that you have on the Wii, even today, is more fun than you can have anywhere else.
Wii Impact on gaming was insane.
And the impact.
No, but it was impactful for a minute. We don't do motion controls anymore.
I know, but
outside
still
of VR,
a ton of
VR
fun.
sucks.
But I think that getting crazy with controller design, we have the DualSense nowadays. It also works.
The people have decided.
Let's go, people! You guys are amazing.
The Wii is going into the A tier with a wild
PS3 first.
Wildly weighted.
PS3
first.
Yep.
Okay. It's better than the 360.
I disagree.
Why?
I think
Give me a compelling
I
argument.
think that Halo 3 and Halo Reach are better games than any other game on the PS3 except for The Last of Us
Uncharted 2?
and Uncharted 2.
Resistance 3?
Other than that, gets downhill real
Little
fast.
Big Planet 2?
Little Big Planet 2 is a
Infamous
great game.
2?
Great game. I think that Halo 3 and also multiplayer lobbies were the most fun on 360. When you think of multiplayer lobbies, you attach it to 360. Love it or hate it.
360 is not S tier.
Love it or hate it.
360 is very important
I don't think it's S tier.
online gaming.
I don't think it's S tier. I think I would put the PlayStation 3 because the end of the life cycle
is excellent.
In B or A tier.
It's definitely not A tier is the problem. I think this whole generation is B tier, honestly.
I'm down with 360 is an A tier though.
I don't agree at all. I really don't. It has two great series that people talk about.
Forza?
With Gear. No, Forza is impactful for some people, but it's not like this overwhelmingly massive franchise. I know racing fans love it, but
I'm okay with
360 is great, but it's all nostalgia, guys. I know that we all had great
Mass
memories.
Effect 2, everyone associates with the 360.
Yeah, but we all had great memories playing online games in high school and middle school, playing Call of Duty. But it's not
BioShock, Mass Effect.
Those are
best
PS3.
No, I don't know. I'm talking about both of why I think that they're A tier up.
They're the worst. It's the worst gen.
You have
overall.
the best Call of Duties on there. You have unbelievable exclusives from the big players on PlayStation and Xbox. I genuinely think both are A tier.
I don't. I think they're both B tier, but I think I'm going to lose this.
Well, you're definitely going to lose 360. There's too many people saying S tier for 360. So
fine.
360 goes A tier for sure.
And then put it to a poll for PS3.
Yeah, PS3, B or A tier.
But I'm going to lose.
Oh, there are some people saying both B tier. By some, I mean two.
You just got to be reasonable here, guys. Like, there's better consoles than the PS4 laps the 360 and the PS3. Laps it. It's not even close.
I think it laps
it's
it.
not even
It
fucking
laps
close.
it on an exclusive level, but I do think when you're talking about
third party,
dude, Uncharted, not Uncharted. That was the completely wrong. Call of Duty, BioShock, Mass Effect, Red Dead 1, GTA 5. Like these are some of the best games ever. Still.
Yeah, dude, but also we forgot all of FromSoft as well. I think FromSoft gets way
Dark
better.
Souls 1.
FromSoft gets way better in the PS4 generation.
True, but Dark Souls 1 is a PS3 and Xbox 360 game. Like those are some goated fucking games.
I mean, I love the PS3. I'm playing a lot of it right now, but like it is a weaker lineup.
There is no world where the Wii is better than the PS3. I'll say this to the cats come home. I have more fun with the Wii than any other console. Fun. If I could only have one game with a bunch of friends, it's the Wii.
Dude, I saw a
Or
tier
the
list.
Switch.
The reason that inspired this is I saw somebody do a tier list and they put the PS3 in F tier. Made me want to lose my mind.
Yeah, that's right.
I could not believe that. Is that really how people view it? B tier? All right, that's fine.
57%. Oh no, you got what you wanted.
I wanted them both in B tier.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't happening. We should be B tier if PS3 is. I think they should all be in A tier. So
I tried.
Yeah,
I tried for B tier for Wii. And
yeah,
you guys voted on it. That's your fault. That's on you.
That's near across the bear.
This is the garage. Have you seen this?
Have you seen the synced up versions of it?
Yeah.
Where it's
it's
like
the best.
20 of them, and then all of a sudden it all comes in with, this is the garage.
Okay, next we are going to go with the 3DS. Console that really struggled out the gate, but really turned it on later in its life cycle. It's not better than the DS. Yeah, I feel like we were putting a lot of stuff in B tier.
Well, that's a tier list.
Yeah.
B's and C's, right?
Alright,
That's where
3DS,
it should go.
B tier, that's fine.
I knew that A tier was going to get stacked fast.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to try to move some. If 360 or Wii is down here, I would feel better about the number of stuff.
I'll let you put one there. I'll let you move one of them.
No,
whatever you want.
they've already voted. I don't want to take away their.
They
votes.
didn't vote on 360. You want to move 360 down?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. No,
Okay.
not happening.
All right, that's fine.
360's the online generation. Black Ops 2. Come on.
The PlayStation Vita trophies on the go.
Trophies on the go.
Oh my goodness.
Name a good game on the Vita.
Killzone Mercenary, Uncharted Golden Abyss,
This is
Persona 4 Golden,
this is totally just me being dumb
Freedom
right
Wars.
now. Is Crisis Core?
That's a PSP game.
Yeah. Oh, we should move the PSP up then a couple spots for Crisis Core
No.
alone. The price of pretty steep.
Little Big Planet, Mod Nation Racers,
Loco Roco 2?
Nope, that's all.
Is that all?
There's
on?
no. I don't think there's a single Loco Roco on there.
No Patapon on there
Nope.
either? Yeah. Man, PSP's heat.
PSP's real. PSP's heat. I love the Vita, dude.
Vita's cool.
Indie games out the fucking
wazoo.
ass, dude.
Yeah.
Hotline Miami. That's where I played that. Vita was bad. You guys don't even know.
So where
You guys don't
with the
even
Vita?
know.
What are you thinking with the Vita? Realistically.
Yeah, realistically,
It's
I think
maybe
C-tier
at best
is
in C
fine.
tier. Yeah, let's do it.
It's better than the Game Boy and the Dreamcast for sure.
Yeah.
I would, if I personally could rank this for it's my most played handheld console.
yeah.
By a wide margin.
What would you put it like if you could personally? A tier?
A tier probably. I love getting trophies on the go, dude.
Yeah.
Like I had so much fun with this console. Sound shapes, kidding me? So good. A PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, so good. All right. Vita. Living la vida loca. Sorry, guys.
Inside out.
Right.
Damn, that was fun.
So now we are moving on to the Wii U, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 generation. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consoles left.
I want to do PC before we get to the last gen.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I want to start with the Wii U. Objectively, the most underrated console ever.
Yeah.
The games
It's
on
very
this
good.
console are fucking awesome.
But this is where the controller issue comes
The
in.
controller blows. And a lot of people didn't buy the fucking thing because there wasn't really great Mario on it.
They thought it was a fucking Wii still because they didn't understand what a Wii U was.
Exactly.
The marketing for this console was horrible. Horrific.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild's on that motherfucker. People sleep on that shit. Smash Bros is great on this console. The console is the lineup is A or S. First time chatter, you fucking get it. Like
That's a fair point. I think that's a fair point.
The lineup on this thing is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and
it's a testament to show that fucking half the Switch best games are fucking ports.
Exactly
of
from
Wii U
the Wii
games.
U. It's really cool. I think I want to just. I think it's a, like you said, C tier console design, maybe even D tier console design.
You can't put it above these.
Can we just like? But I think it's objectively better than all these. That's the hard part.
No, I think it's around there.
Fine, we can toss it and see.
Okay.
I just want people to understand how good the lineup of games is on the Wii U. If you could buy a Wii U at a garage sale for $5 and every single game
That would
be
be
$1,
such a steal, dude. That would be such a steal.
there was a free Wii U. I just didn't have the cable for it that I owned.
Fuck
I
you.
bought. I went to a fucking dumpster and it was just in the dumpster like free pickup area, and I was like,
God damn.
but I didn't have the right course for it.
All right. Moving on to the PlayStation 4.
S tier. Yeah. Best console ever. Best exclusive lineup ever. This was the peak of gaming. 2017 to 2020 gaming did not get better.
And I don't believe this is nostalgia. I legitimately think that this deserves.
Well, I think that the opening of this console is actually not amazing, but then you start to get to The Witcher, Bloodborne, and Uncharted 4, and then from there, it just runs.
Yep.
It just fucking goes. I can't believe it. I can't believe how good this console is. This is my Desert Island console. This is the opening of games like Fortnite. 360 also had Minecraft, by the way. We didn't talk about that.
Oh yeah.
That alone is
Xbox
amazing.
One. D tier. This console sucks.
Other than Forza Horizon, it's a bad console. That's the only redeeming aspect of this console is Forza Horizon.
There really
in my
is
opinion.
no good exclusives on this thing.
Halo 5 multiplayer is fun.
Yeah.
The multiplayer is fun. The
Game Pass. Yeah, no.
D tier.
D tier, yeah.
I don't think it's F tier. Forza makes it not F tier. Worst opening for a console ever? There's been some bad opening for consoles.
PS2 has a horrible opening.
Yeah.
Horrible launch. Everything on the early PS2 sucked. Like, so bad. But you can't really factor that in, honestly, in my opinion. PC.
PC's as good as it gets, man.
S tier, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think it's a simple
I know
place
this
to...
isn't technically a console, but like
We just want to go and give it its flowers. As much as I don't play games on the PC, the way you're able to just have fucking everything is unbelievable. It's an S tier place to play games.
Right on. PC S tier. And then we are caught up now. Switch, the PS5, and the Xbox Series.
Real quick, on PC, this isn't a chat thing. I just want to mention this. I personally don't think it's S tier because the gaming experience, talking about like console itself, mouse and keyboard is not my preferred way to play for one, but more importantly, having to sit and have it be a small screen up close, I don't enjoy.
I'm the opposite
genuinely
now.
don't enjoy. I know.
I'm playing Sekiro on my monitor, and being able to like literally put my face against the screen is so satisfying.
I want to be sitting on a couch. By the way, I didn't mention this, and I will mention this on the review. I fucked up my back yesterday playing Elden Ring. Fucked it up by being on the couch all day and just putting my body in weird positions while playing this game.
Do you think we just cut out? Are we good?
We're live still, right?
I don't.
Yeah, we're fine.
Good. You guys can still hear us? Okay. Switch. S tier.
Oh, the easiest S tier ever. The only console, in my opinion, that rivals the PS4. The Switch is as good as it gets from an exclusive lineup, ports, litering everything.
The way that it works, even the functionality of it.
We might need an S plus tier, and it might just be the Switch.
I think S tier is. I think S and for the it's these two, honestly.
Switch and PS4 are the easiest S tiers of the S tiers. Like the Switch is so fucking good, it's unbelievable.
Alrighty. Was choppy, but better now. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Tight. Next up, we have the PS5, and this is we're just taking it where it is right now.
Where it is.
What are you thinking?
You know where I'm at with the PS5.
You love it.
I fucking love the PS5 lineup.
Where do you want to put it then? A?
Yeah.
C. For now.
We can settle with B. That's what the fucking purpose of our voting system is when we disagree, we go to the middle.
All right, that's fine. PS5, B
B
tier.
PS5 for me, just the lineup alone, every single year has great exclusives and third party that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And like people sleep, they're like, oh, there's no exclusives. One, we get 2 to 3 great exclusives a year from it, except for last year. And now it's still really fucking good.
Right.
Like this console's awesome.
I think PS5 is great.
Rebirth makes it A tier. It's Locust. Are you subbed? You are subbed. If not, I was gonna give you a sub. Like fuck yeah, dude.
All right, right on. B tier. I think we're okay with that. Connor has the PS5 at C. What I mean, like I think that it's for now. For now, I think that it's the weakest PlayStation console for sure.
One game on it made Connor play it for 200 hours already. True.
I mean, I use my PS5 all the time.
Yeah, I use it every day.
I love my PS5. I'm taking the whole picture into account now. We can't. It's had a weak first few years.
I think it's had a immensely strong first few years.
I disagree, but
it's not
get
end
better.
of PS. It's not end of PS4. Nothing will ever be the end of PS4 because that's not the way games are developed.
Yeah.
But if you were to tell me this is the lineup we have and the cadence we have is 1 to 2 bangers plus third party,
by the end of the generation, it's going to be an
but you have to
without a doubt.
You're talking about things
it's not going to be close to
I
the
know,
PlayStation
but you're
4.
also forgetting things like fucking Elden Ring. Like
It's a PS4 game. It is.
It
was developed and announced for the PS4. It has like a port to the PS5. It's a PS4 game.
It came out in 2022. It's a PS5 game.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was developed for the PS4.
Yeah.
All right. Xbox Series. As of now,
Yeah.
this console's horrible, in my opinion. As of right now. There's not a single excellent game on it.
The important thing though is it's the Game Pass machine.
That's not an important thing in my
Are we
opinion.
throwing the Series S on there?
No, just the series. We just do series.
Okay.
Is it F tier or D tier?
Oh, I was gonna say B tier just because it's the Game Pass machine.
That's just talk about the library. The library is the most important. The library is the most important.
I understand,
part.
but the library of the Series X is Game Pass. No one owns a Series X that doesn't own Game Pass.
Those are all Xbox One games for the most part. A lot of them.
But they're not just Xbox One games. They're also 360 games. And Game Pass is what makes the Series X special.
And no, it doesn't because the PC has Game Pass as well.
I understand. That's why it's S tier.
Yeah. No, that's not why it's S tier. There's plenty of reasons.
It's partially why it is S tier. I think Game Pass makes the series consoles a B tier console.
D tier.
No.
Yes.
We'll settle for C, but that's I could make a case for A tier because Game Pass is so fucking good.
The series is not as good as the Xbox One. Yet. It easily could be. You look at Avowed, you look at Indie and the Fable, all the upcoming stuff. It definitely, I could see this console ending up in A tier, being with the 360 or B tier at the very least. But right now, it is D tier.
Halo Infinite,
fine.
Let me. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, and Hi-Fi Rush put in C tier alone. Those are good enough exclusives. Those are better exclusives than any exclusive lineup here. That is better exclusive than the Xbox One. That's more fun games. Those are more fun games than the Xbox. That is a fact.
That's fine. Okay. You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah. Series X got Valorant, Connor. Come on, dude. Let's click some heads, baby.
All right. So let's go through the list real fast, and then we'll each make a change.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. In the S tier, do you want to go down top to bottom actually?
Bottom to top. Yeah.
In the F tier, we have the Sega Saturn. Aww.
In the D tier, we have the Game Boy, Dreamcast, and Xbox One.
In the C tier, we have the Atari 2600, Genesis, Xbox, the PlayStation Vita, the Wii U, and the Xbox Series.
In the B tier, we have the NES, N64, Game Boy Advance, PSP, PS3, 3DS, and PlayStation 5.
In the A tier, we have SNES, PS1, GameCube, DS, Wii, and the 360.
And in the S tier, we have the PS2, the PS4, PC, and the Nintendo Switch.
All right.
Connor, you get to change first.
Okay. And this is the official list.
Yes.
Any changes we're making right now are just for funsies.
Nick should move the Wii up. You know what you want is really funny because I wouldn't do that, but it's kind of true. Oh, shit.
That's not doing a good job.
Yeah.
We're moving the DS
to the S tier.
Yeah. Here you go.
All right.
Do you want the rag?
Yeah, I would love it. We're moving the PS5 up to A tier.
What? That's wild. That is wild.
I cannot understand how people do not know how good the PS5 is. This console has great exclusives. It has better exclusives than the NES.
It does not. Nick, people consider the NES like people are gonna be mad the NES isn't an S tier.
I understand, but I'm saying God of War Ragnarok.
That's a PS4 game.
No, it's not.
I know.
You're just making me upset.
I'm just trying to make an argument to win.
How is that 64 so low? It's salty sell. The
You're
good
lucky
is
it's
good.
that high.
The good is really fucking good, but the bad is there's just not a lot. It gets bad fast.
Okay, I need to get this on.
All right, I can yap it up for a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching, but the podcast is not over. We still have hot takes, a draft, and my Shadow of the Erdtree review. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. We're going to keep it live, though. If you guys want to hang out and hear me yap it up about Erdtree. I don't fucking know. I normally do it on... There you go. Yeah. Oh, there it is, chat. Spin it. Flip it. Most of the production stuff is lefty tighty.
That's weird.
It's really weird. But yeah, we're going to keep it live.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm going to move this.
Yep. Oh, man. Dude, he's so strong. Chat, we don't talk about how strong. Holy shit. Connor just nailed the top of my door with the whiteboard. Oh my god. Attaboy. You want a hand with some of these games?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to just yap?
No, just yap.
We can yap while I put games up here. Chat, what's your guys' favorite game that's ever been on the back wall? Is there any game of note that you love? Let us know. My favorite game on the back wall is SSS Tricky. I feel like I see it the most in our videos, and it's a delightful video game. Can you check to see the glare?
The cat needs to go back.
You never see it coming. Connor, start talking. I'm going to move the camera.
Hello, people. How are we doing? This is the podcast, Casual Gaming Conversation. We just did a tier list. It went very well. Shockingly agreeable. I understand that plenty of people are going to drop out of this podcast now because we have finished the tier list. But we appreciate you guys hanging out and rocking with us today. It's been a lot of fun. That was a fun tier list. Thank you to all the new people who showed up. Exclamation point Discord to join the Discord and join the community of over 1,300 people. It's a lot of fun in there.
Yeah. I really need to use the restroom. So, Connor, okay. I'm going to have you do your hot take solo. Okay. Just go and rip your hot take, and I'll be right back.
All right. Solo dolo. But if you're new here, we do the we do the podcast Mondays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, Jetpack, for the gifted subs. Appreciate that, dude. On YouTube, Spotify, Apple podcast services in general. It goes up on all that good stuff. So yeah, come hang out with us every week talking about games. We do stuff like that. So, but now we are going to get into the hot take, Nick's Elden Ring review, and then we're going to do a JRPG draft at the end. So I'm going to get into my hot take here. My gaming hot take for this week is that I have no interest in early access games. If you want me to play your game, release it fully, and then I'll check it out. I have no interest in being a beta tester for your game and playing something that's unfinished and having it trickle out and have me wait for the game to be completed, especially for single player stuff. If it's multiplayer and it's not going to change that much drastically for like a beta experience, that's fine. I get it. I feel the same about demos that I do about early access stuff. I'm interested in Hades 2. I'm excited that people are excited about it, but I have no interest in checking it out because it's in early access. Release the fucking game. Why do I need to play this right now and get to a point that's not the ending and then lose all my momentum and then wait for it to come back around? Like, I'm good. I will wait until the time comes and check it out when it's fully out. But yeah, early access, not for me personally. I don't really get it. I think it does harm to the game too. I feel like when a game is coming out, it has a big pop. Ooh, Hades 2, it's coming out. Exciting. Yes, let's all go play it. Hades 2, it's early access. Is it fully out? No? I'll check it out when it's fully out. And then it doesn't get that same pop. You have one shot to get that massive pop. And I think Hades is in a unique situation because it's fucking Hades and people love that game, and we're talking about a sequel here. But like a lot of games go into early access and then just die off because like it doesn't get that full release, and I think that's a problem. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my hot take for this week on early access games. Nick is still in the bathroom, but we're hanging out. I hear the bidet going off, so it means that he's taking longer than expected, is what I would say. But I appreciate you guys being here. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much for hanging out and rocking with us. I know that when we're doing tier lists and have to do set changes like this, it's a little bit difficult, but yeah, we're rocking and rolling. Early access is good for multiplayer games to test servers. Yes, I agree with that. But very rarely do you get like that massive influx of people that you actually need. You know what I mean? I think early access should be used strictly for online multiplayer. Locus, I agree with that as well.
Early access was your
line? Yeah, I'm not about it. I'm not about the early access. You want to move this off the table, please? Do you have a list of JRPGs? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I do. You ready?
Yeah.
My gaming hot take for this week is the most important thing to video games is art style. I know that gameplay is a core thing that is like super important. Story, extremely important. I'm somebody that loves a good story when it comes to video games. But the way that art style can legitimately make a video game, a good game great, an okay game good, the effect of it is unbelievable. If a game has great gameplay but just shit art, if it's bad to look at for so long, I'm not going to play that game, even if it has a great story. But the way that art can carry, especially I'm playing games right now like Cuphead and Undertale, these lower budget games, these indie studios are able to make a name for themselves, not just because the gameplay is great, not just because the music's great, but the art style is such a poignant point that we point towards consistently. It's amazing. I absolutely adore art styles in video games. I think it needs to be discussed more when it comes to the AAA scene. Not everything needs to look really realistic. You can just have a great art style and it can carry a game, especially when you're talking about a budget. Like, why does everything need to be this ultra high budget game? You look at the Dragon Quest remakes that we saw at the Nintendo Direct. Looks so unbelievable because the art is so fucking good. I'm interested in that game, not because of the music, not because of the gameplay, but it just looks good and I want to live in that world because I want to look at it for a while.
Yeah, I completely disagree that art style is the most important, but I do think that there is a nugget here that's very important to dig into, and that is art style gets you noticed. There's plenty of games that have really solid gameplay. There's plenty of games that look really fantastic visually when it comes to the realism and stuff like that. But if you want to stand out in a sea of games, because there's a lot of games coming out, you need to have a good art style or some sort of art direction to pull people in and be like, I want to check that out. And there's stuff like Fear the Spotlight, which looks like a PS1 game, or a Crow Country or Crow County. I forget if it's which one that is. Looks like a PS1 game as well. But that's cool because it stands out.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, like, that's interesting. I want to go check out what that's about. And I think that's really important for modern games to gain an audience. If you want to break through, you need an interesting art style.
I'm going to double back and just say as important as gameplay and story. Most important might have been a little bit of a hyperbole there, but it is insanely important. I generally think that it needs to be discussed a lot more in the gaming sphere of, if you want to look and stand out right now, art style is the way to do it, more so than gameplay, more so than anything else. Like, the way you get us in during a Nintendo Direct, I feel like it's really hard to gauge gameplay, even with a larger snippet, unless you're giving us 5-6 minutes of straight of gameplay during a Direct. 1 minute, 30 seconds you can do with an art style.
That's true. Yeah, because if you can't feel the game, like, it's really hard to sell why a first person shooter is good, because they all look, a lot of them look very similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Shout out the Erdtree review. Ready to go? Right?
Yeah.
Your eyes were closed.
I'm so happy.
All right. Nick, you have completed Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. What is your take? What's your review?
First and foremost, Elden Ring is a masterpiece on it of itself. But when discussing Shadow of the Erdtree, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 on the co-op 64 scale. I have a couple of small gripes with this game, and none of it deals with difficulty. If you want to go and beat Shadow of the Erdtree, you do eventually have to get good. It is difficult as all get out, but I enjoy that difficulty. The reason that I'm giving it a 9.5 and not a 10 is I did have some performance issues at the start of this game. The one thing you cannot have in a From Software game is for you to die to a boss and have it be the game's fault and not your fault. The reason that these games are so satisfying, or when you die, you're like, I need to get better. But when the game causes it due to some framing issues as they're facing a dancing lion boss, it's very frustrating. I had that happen on stream and I was like, oof, I'm really disappointed with that product. But that actually got few and far between as I was playing along with it. We did get a code, shout out to Bandai Namco, but we didn't play it until day one of release. So all the patches should have been in there for the day one patch that you get with a modern game. The reason that I love this game, though, the reason that it is near masterpiece level for me, is it's everything that you love about Elden Ring, but to the best degree in a different way. So sure, you still have the ability to level up your weapons and go and have these terrific boss fights, but the way that the first game and the main game allows you to go and say, all right, as someone that is really bad at video games, I'm just going to grind. I'm just going to level up my character, and that is going to be a way to defeat these bosses. The way that Erdtree allows you to do that is it focuses on a better gameplay aspect of exploration. You cannot just level up your core stats to go and get good in this game. Sure, it might help you very little, but the way that you actually get the job done is by discovering these Skadu tree fragments and these ashes that go and allow you to upgrade your ashes. It allows you to upgrade your weapon. It allows you to upgrade torrent even. It's awesome. And the way you get that isn't by just going in, consistently piecing up enemies. It comes to you have to explore the map. If you want to get good in this game, it forces you to explore. And I think that's brilliant because the exploration in this game is so dang good. It makes you have to do what you should want to do in the first place. As somebody that focused so much on grinding these bosses in the original, Shadow of the Erdtree implores you to go and say, okay, go look over there just because there might be something that helps you more so than just a weapon, but actually upgrading the weapon you're currently using. The amount of places I had to go to be able to defeat these bosses in the first place was spectacular because it went beyond, hey, let's just grind for 5 hours to get better. It said, no, go and explore that corner to potentially go and get an upgrade. It also is extremely well designed. This map is some of the most well designed level design in all of gaming. The verticality that From Software has in Elden Ring is simply phenomenal. I go and I see this map. Originally, I'm like, oh, it's like pretty big. Nope, it's like 6 times the size I thought it was because you go up, 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 and down, 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 and all of a sudden you're in a brand new place. It is terrific. Finding map fragments was difficult originally, but as you go and play more, you go and get curious, and then you discover a cave that leads into another cave that opens you up into a grand field, and then you see the map fragment pop up. You're just like, holy smokes, I'm actually going to get to discover this new area. And the sense of discovery is heightened to a certain degree that you don't really see in modern games. Consistently, we have the discussion of Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, you're just doing it again. And it's a little bit lame. It doesn't hit as hard the first time around. But for my Elden Ring experience, the first one was so special because it was allowing a Souls experience where you get to grind and get better by grinding. This one says, no, get better by exploring. And that feeling is fresh. It feels amazing. Simply put, Shadow of the Erdtree is the second best gaming experience I had this year, closely followed behind my favorite game ever. Shadow of the Erdtree is the best DLC I've ever played, and Shadow of the Erdtree is terrific. If you've not played it because it is too difficult, that's okay. It is not for everyone. This is the most difficult gaming experience I've ever had. I spent 15 hours on the final boss.
How are the bosses in general?
The bosses are so unique, so terrific. It has my favorite boss fight in gaming now. I genuinely believe that there is a boss. I'm just going to leave it at, it is not the final boss, but it is a boss you must beat and it is very difficult, and they wield a spear. I think that that's broad enough that, like, for those who know who I'm talking about, you know, but I don't want to spoil anything in this game because it is a spoiler-free review. It is my favorite boss fight in gaming now because it respects the player so much while beating you down so hard. This game, the boss is extremely difficult, but going and hitting those dodges, hitting those moments of, I have a break for a moment, I can either heal up or I can go in for a couple of hard swings, feels phenomenal, visceral, intense. It has your heart beating at 1 billion beats a minute. It is so intense. And that is just my favorite boss. Every single boss leading into that boss, terrific. Every boss after that boss, terrific. The final boss is the most difficult experience I've ever had in gaming. Connor, I have climbed a literal mountain. I have I have learned to a very high skill degree 2 instruments. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Being that final boss was terrific. It was amazing. But this game overall, the boss fights, world design, exploration, the way that it forces you to do one of its core game mechanics even more so than the first game, and it was a great mechanic in the first game of explore, go anywhere. It makes you do that, and it feels awesome every single moment. I had to go back in the open world to find an upgrade. I was like, let's go. Heck yeah, I'm so excited to explore more. And going and getting those upgrades felt amazing. Going and beating these bosses were some of the best feelings in gaming. This is a 9.5 experience for me. Hands down, it is absolutely terrific. I would highly recommend anyone that has interest in Elden Ring, if you've beaten it or not beaten it, go pick up Elden Ring. It's a masterpiece in its own right, and then play Shadow of the Erdtree. Might win Game of the Year this year at the Game Awards, and it's a DLC.
I think that great review, by the way. I think that the final boss fight might have cooked it for getting up for Game of the Year. Yeah. I think a lot of people are not enjoying the final boss fight.
Somebody asked, am I using Ash of Wards or Summons for bosses? I am using a Mimic tier for the final boss and for most of the bosses.
I don't think there's any wrong way to play this game.
So
No shame
for
in
me, if you want to go and dunk on me for saying like, hey, it made it too easy, I went for 15 hours on this motherfucker. I promise you it was not too easy.
Yeah.
I had my challenge level aptly met. I used Rivers of Blood for the entirety of the DLC. I tried out a couple weapons. Nothing hit. I like using katanas, so I'm gonna use a katana. I will eventually run through every Souls game, yes, but there was a moment that almost broke me during that final boss fight. And now can we just talk about this experience? So yeah, Bandai Namco, shout out to y'all. They sent us a code a few days before the DLC. We asked for a code late, which sometimes we do, and then they get back to us. They also had SGF to deal with. Our correspondent there was at SGF, so it's on us to not get a early review. Honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to get it by a review embargo with SGF and the timing of all of that, even if they got us a code early. So I am pretty happy to do it the way I did, especially with spending way longer on the final boss.
How long have you been playing this? 2 weeks?
10 days.
When did it come out? Okay.
Last Friday or last Thursday for us.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it was a terrific experience playing 13 hours on stream, getting to that boss that I discussed being my favorite boss ever. It is my favorite boss ever. I think that the boss design is so brilliant. It's everything I could ever want from a boss.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, I don't know how it gets better. I think that there's multiple bosses in here that are like 10 out of 10 bosses. Like, I'm just like, this is as good as it gets. From Software is totally in their fucking bag. It's unbelievable. But playing through that portion of it was very much a boss rush for me. I was like sort of piecing everyone up about an hour, 2 hours, and then I get to that boss, and that one took me 6 hours. I was like, oh fuck, I need to upgrade. I need to get better. I need to get better at the game, but also I need to go and explore the world more. And that moment of just being like, all right, like, how do we want to do this? That next morning, I woke up after defeating that boss and having to be like, I got towards the, like, there's someone you have to beat before the final boss. It's not like a major boss fight. It's more of a summon fest where you're beating a bunch of smaller guys, but like they're not easy and they're very difficult and they're listed as something online and stuff like that. Anyways, I got towards there and I was like, all right, I'm not leveled up enough. I need to go and explore. And that exploring was some of the most fun I've had in gaming, because it was consistently, I don't know how to get there, but I'm going to get there. And I'm going to run towards walls or look down craters to see if I can go and lily pad jump my way down gravestones.
Did you use a guide at all?
I did use a guide towards the end. I got to level 14 with the Skidoo tree fragments.
I think Gumby said Scod tree.
People are, by the way, it is pronounced Shadow. That is what they want it to be called. From my
Shadow Tree?
They want it to be called Shadow Tree Fragments.
Oh.
Which I'm like, nope, that's not what it's called. That's not what it's listed as. But if you want to spell Shadow Tree Fragments, that's how you should have spelled it.
That's weird.
But I did use a guide towards the end where I was like, I need to find these last fragments. I couldn't get there's a castle in the north right that you need to be able to push past to go and get legitimately. There's like a peninsula with 5 of them, and I was like, I don't know how to get there. I'm looking up a guide. I that's the big one that I broke. And then also for the Spirit Ash Wars, I forget exactly what they're called, but they are the way you upgrade your Mimic and Torrent. I did look up a guide to get from level 7 to 9. Yeah. So like I did most of my exploring. The main thing was I just missed them. Like there was multiple times that I would like get to an area and like see it but not grab it. And so like the first boss area, I went and missed one that legitimately I like saw it, but there was a single enemy in the way and I was like, nope, screw that, I'm running. And I just was like, okay, I need to double back on it. Yeah, I think that this is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
For me right now, it is currently it's interesting, and I think it's a fun discussion to have. I have this as a 9.5. I have Rebirth as a 9.5. It's my favorite game ever. I will rank that higher this year. Tekken 8, I have it as a 9. But it's a full game compared to a DLC, and that does weigh to me a little bit. So I will have Tekken 8 probably ahead of Shadow of the Erdtree at the end of this year still.
I did DLC in my top 3 last year, so I have no shame.
Yeah, there's no shit on DLC being a personal favorite or the best gaming experience we have. I played 43 hours of this thing.
That's wild.
2 games. Like, that is 4 games if you want to get, like, really into the weeds of how long games could or should be. And I fucking loved it. There wasn't I got my head bashed in for 15 hours on this final boss. I loved every second.
I couldn't do that.
I know.
I mean, I would do it, but I would be upset by the end of it.
Yeah.
By the end of it, when I beat the boss, I don't even know if I would have a feeling of satisfaction. I would have literally been like, fuck this, dude. Like, that is so annoying.
So on this final boss, I had seven different times where they had one hit away. 7. Around 6 p.m. last night was the first one. I played. I woke up yesterday at 11. I did exploring with a guide for about 3 hours. And then I played this game, and like I took a break to grab food. I watched an episode of Attack on Titan after a couple hours. I watched some kind of funny stuff. Like I was taking my moments to be like, you need to do something else. My hand really hurt. Like my right hand was fucking destroyed.
That's so funny.
And so I went and played nonstop though, from basically 11 o'clock until 2 a.m. And I fucking loved it because I got better and I noticed myself getting better. Every single time, like there's a death move that the final boss has around 25%. The moments that I got to that death move multiple times in a row, I was like, oh, dude, you're actually getting better.
Yeah.
Like you're actually doing the fucking thing. Because it took me forever to get to the death move. And then finally I get to it and then I get smoked because it's the death move and it's the first time you see it. And then after the fact, it was amazing. But also, everyone that's like, you used a mimic, the last 40% of that fight, every time I would not have a mimic available. They'd be dead. So I did the last 40% of that fight consistently without a mimic or without a summon. So if you're like, you weren't good enough to do it without a summon, I could 100% eventually do this without a summon. 100%. But that was not the purpose of this review. And honestly, that would have taken away from some of the fun that I end up having. I think doing it without a summon would eventually, which I plan on doing. I plan on platinuming Elden Ring. I'm shocked that there's no trophies for this. Also, fucking roll credits from software. There's no like credit roll. There's a cutscene and then you get a thing and then you're just sort of back in the world. There's no like definitive like,
well, because
peace out.
Well, it might be because for Erdtree, like you can technically go do this before the end of the game, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So,
that's
like,
true. That's a good point.
An ending.
Yeah, but I absolutely think it's terrific. You are much better at this game. I want to see you play the original game again without any guides. That's true. I totally could play this game. My total game clock on Erdtree, I believe, is Elden Ring at this point is 140 hours, and I played about 110 of those hours by doing the base game and this during the subathon plus playing through and then doing this review. I cannot and eventually you'll get to the point that we can say boss names and stuff like that. And
right.
we're not there yet. I understand it's only been 10 days. Probably in a couple weeks, it's going to be like, all right, you know the boss names at now if you're
I've
not
had
there
every
with it.
single boss spoiled for me.
Well, I had the final boss spoiled from you before the game came out, and it blows. It does, but like it's part of being in the gaming zeitgeist.
Were you disappointed by who the final boss was?
No.
No.
Oh, dude. I also want to say this. There's a moment in this game, and I've had it before, but that final boss, there's something about it, and it almost is emotional. Where you start out going against this boss, and you are running the fuck away. You are terrified. You are immediately trying to dodge every single move. There's a moment where you go and say, nope, I'm staying right on your hip this entire time.
Yeah.
And you are going to do moves that are going to fuck me up, and I'm going to want to run, and you can't run. And so every single time I went into the second phase, I got to the point from midnight until 2 a.m. I audibly said it. I was saying it in my mind for a while, but at midnight to 2 a.m., I just said press, press, press. And then you would go and charge at the motherfucker. And it was awesome, because that's the only way you can beat that final boss is you got to press them. And boy, oh boy, was it delightful to press. I also want to shout out, yes, I used guides to go and get some upgrades and stuff like that. I knew that there was cheapo builds to beat this guy. I knew that there was easy ways to beat this person. I wanted none of it. I wanted to get good. I wanted to beat this motherfucker.
Nice.
I had moments of coming near tears. And I am somebody that thinks it's so silly to get legitimately irreparably frustrated at a video game. I thought about throwing my controller more in this game than any other boss fight, any other gaming moment in my entire life. I cannot believe how good this game is, how much it respects the player, how much it challenges the player and says, you will do this. And when you fucking do it, it is unlike anything else. There's nothing else like Elden Ring. I think even you talking about FromSoft, yes, FromSoft games are terrific, but the way that the world is so open, and then all of a sudden it dials you into an arena against a boss, and it just says, you're going to have to fucking get good to do this. There doesn't do that more so than the only moment in the game it really does it is with his last boss in Erdtree. Whereas for the last boss in base Elden Ring, I think that the final part of that final boss is objectively not too difficult. Like once you sort of learn the moves, it's really, really understandable because it's not pressing you as much. You are able to heal. You're able to get her done. This boss is unrelenting, just fucking wants to destroy you and fuck you up, and you are consistently taking hits. I also did this with only 12 pots. You can have max of 14 pots. I only had 12.
Damn.
Because I didn't want to go out and have a guide for more golden seeds.
Dice Hands asks, is this final boss harder than Melania? I think yes, but how much harder?
3 times harder.
3 times harder?
Yeah. Well, I think so. I think I died 153 times from Melania. I think I died to this boss 500 times.
Jesus Christ.
And I loved every second of it.
Yeah. What's a better design boss fight, Melania or this?
This.
Okay.
This, you can dodge every move. I think the waterfowl is kind of busted.
Okay.
I think that this is legitimately anyone that says that this boss is not well designed, I think you're wrong. Anyone, because I was dodging every move at a certain point. I was dodging every fucking move. And so like every single move you could dodge. Really difficult to dodge. Really difficult to get through everything. Unrelenting. But you can dodge it. The waterfowl, I think, is a little bit busted. So, but also the way that I beat Melania was consistently just hacking the shit out of her with Rivers of Blood, with a mimic with Rivers of Blood, and it wasn't a understanding. Like it turned into a time battle, like I've discussed before, discussing Elden Ring. Of like certain battles are all about you need to get in there, get your hits in as fast as possible, and you basically need to consistently stun them. Where you weren't doing this against this final boss ever. This was straight up non-stop fucking... I didn't get them on their knees once. I just kept going. I know that there's builds out there of people just fucking using a big ass shield and poking with the spear, and they're stunning and they're parrying.
I've seen parries that are pretty cool.
And
those are cool though.
They're cool. Go fuck yourself. Learn this boss. Get in there. I was up on this boss's taint for 6 hours straight at a certain point, and I loved every second of it. I didn't eat a meal since 5 p.m., and it was fucking 2 a.m., and I was so hungry. And Connor and I had a conversation. It's 11 p.m., and he's just like, hey, man, like, I'm about to go to bed. Make sure to be set up for tomorrow and everything. And I was like, I'm going to call it at 2 a.m. for this boss fight. And Connor's like, fucking 2 a.m.? What the fuck? Dude, we have to be up at 8:30. And I was like, I'm not, it might take me till 2 a.m. I beat the boss at 1:55. And and by the way, if I didn't beat it at 1:55, I was going until I beat it. I would have stayed up all night. Yeah. There wasn't a world where I wasn't going to beat this boss. Thank God it wasn't a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth situation where I was up till 5 a.m. But I think it's the best gaming experience besides Rebirth that I've had this year. And I think that originality, obviously, because it has that sense of Tears of the Kingdom-esque, I think it's way less than God of War to Ragnarok, where it's like, it's so similar in a lot of respects. I think that this is as good as it gets, dude. It really is. But once again, the reason I'm giving it a 9.5 was performance issues was a huge part of it, where I'm like, it is the one thing you cannot do. If it happened more often, if it happened in 2 different boss fights, I would go down to a 9. And if it happened 3, I would go down to an 8.5. You cannot have performance issues during a boss fight in a From Software game. Absolutely. You cannot die to these bosses and have it on the game.
What about a consistent 14 frames a second for Bloodborne?
I mean, it's still one of your greatest games of all time. Yeah.
That's your counterpoint, though, is what I'm saying. All right, you want to JRPG draft it up?
Yeah, man, I could talk about this game forever. And I said this on the podcast that will go up after this, the week after. Elden Ring is going to be a forever game for me. It's a game that I talk about forever. It's a game that I want to pick up forever. I'm going to probably try to get it in on as many 24-hour streams as we do as possible, and have a few hours in the lands between. Like, this game is special, and I'm excited to play other From games, but this being my first full-on foray into that area is pretty terrific, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Right on, right on. All right. You get first pick here. Let me know when you're ready to go.
Can you text Brady that I did not order the pizza? I thought we'd be done a lot earlier. All right. Today, we are drafting the best JRPGs, and I'm taking the first pick with this one. I'm choosing Persona 5 Royal with my first pick in this draft. I know a lot of people would think I would go with Final Fantasy, but we're talking about a 100+ hour phenomenal experience with some of the best music, characters, villains, gameplay, art design in any game ever. A lot of people might say that this is as good as it gets, and I agree. A P5 Royal with my first pick.
With my first pick, I'm going to go with Chrono Trigger. Widely considered by many to be the greatest JRPG of all time. Fantastic artwork from the creator of Dragon Ball. Just a match made in heaven. So good. Excellent soundtrack. Great art design as well. Pixel art, timeless. Fantastic. Chrono Trigger with my first pick. With my second pick, we're going to stick on the SNES with my Final Fantasy representation. We're going to go with Final Fantasy VI. I have to pick of the litter here with Final Fantasy. I'm only going to pick one of them. I think Final Fantasy VI, at the end of the day, for many people, not myself, but for many people, is the best of the best. The cast in this game is the best in the series, probably, overall. Celeste, Locke, Sabin, Edgar, Terra, others. Like, there's more than even them. Like, it's crazy. Final Fantasy VI with my second pick.
My next pick is going to be Earthbound. One of those ethereal games, one of those games that go well beyond just like the wants of the modern gamer. Earthbound is consistently looked at as one of the best of all time, and that's going to be my second pick. My third pick, I just want to go and hinder my brother at this point. I love you, but I'm going to choose Kingdom Hearts 2. It's some of the best music in all of video games. Terrific soundtrack, great gameplay, and you cannot amplify the moments in this game to a high enough degree when it comes to the hype. This game understands hype and epic anime moments better than almost any other game. Going from the Axel fight to the end of this game, are you kidding me? This game is hype as all get out. The music's great. Art is gorgeous. The Kingdom Hearts worlds are so well designed. Great Keyblade after great Keyblade. Come on, Kingdom Hearts 2.
With my third pick, we're going to stick with Akira Toriyama here, and we're going to go with Dragon Quest XI. Maybe the coziest game I've ever played in my life. There's just something about the art style that just warms my heart. Excellent characters, colorful world. We need more games like Dragon Quest to make us feel good in this ever-changing and ever-crazy world. Dragon Quest with my third pick. Alrighty. Where are we going next? With my fourth pick, we're going to go with a PlayStation 1 gem, a title that people call back to as one of the greatest JRPGs of all time because of its wide cast of characters. We're going to go with Suikoden 2 with my fourth pick. Can't wait for that HD remake that we're getting at some point. Where's that? Suikoden 2 with my fourth pick.
With my fourth pick, I'm going to go and get a little bit odd with my choice, and I'm going to choose Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Obviously, the remake just came out recently. This game is looked at by many as one of the best RPGs ever, being from the Mario franchise. It's delightful, well-designed art, terrific. Thousand Year Door. And with my fifth pick, I'm going to choose my favorite game of all time. I'm going to choose Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The best music in all of gaming. I've cried. I laughed. The characters are the best cast in any game ever. And when you're talking about a JRPG, I think it's so important to discuss the cast of characters. Best villain in all of gaming, Sephiroth himself, stars the show with some of the best music out there with the One-Winged Angel. But the character themes, the location themes are so terrific. A lot of people discuss this game being bogged down by minigames. I completely disagree. The minigames are delightful. Some of them are optional. Queen's Blood is the best minigame of all time. Give me Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with my final pick.
I have so many directions to go in here, and I don't know what I'm going to land on still. I'm going to cross off. I'm not going to draft Wild Arms or SMT Nocturne. I'm not going to draft...
I'm shocked you're not going... By the way, I could have double dipped on the Final Fantasy. We didn't say no double dipping on a franchise or anything like that.
Fuck,
you feeling some Xeno?
No, I don't have that listed.
Really?
I did think about which one would you put? One?
I would say one
One or
for
three?
Blade, and then you got Gears too.
Xenogears?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you also have Vagrant Story
Yeah.
up there. I kind of want to do that.
Going Yakuza?
Do I go something? I just don't know if I want to go new or old. I went old earlier.
You got a lot of old.
Yeah. With my final pick, I'm going to pick the best Persona game according to my wife. We're going to go with Persona 3 Reload. Apparently, it has the best story in the series. Everybody says it has the best story. I played only 10 hours of this. I really got to get back to it, but I love the art style. I love the characters. Apparently, the story just gets better and better and better. Persona 3 Reload with my final pick. I was between that and Tales of Symphonia and Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, I thought Ni no Kuni was somewhere where you could go. For me, it took a lot to not draft Final Fantasy 16, which I think, like, the thing with Final Fantasy 16 for me, it does have the best boss fights in gaming for me.
Yeah.
Like, it does not get better than the Bahamut or the Titan fight. So that was a heartbreaker to not pick. I could not draft Rebirth, though, over it. I have them both as 9.5s.
I had Skies of Arcadia up
Skies
there
of
as
Arcadia
well.
could be up there. I'm shocked you didn't choose FF9. I know you love 6 too, but FF9.
I want him at one Final Fantasy representation. I am trying to be more thoughtful about giving shouts to games that I don't talk about all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't talk about Dragon Quest.
Well, that's why I try to stick away from Rebirth until the last pick.
Yeah,
That was
and I don't
want to
like do basic picks of like everybody knows fucking Chrono Trigger and Earthbound are like.
But I want the
go-tos for a lot of
votes a
people.
little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm sick of doing that.
By the way, Salzar said Earthbound sucks.
A lot of people agree.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
and then Yakuza, I had like a dragon on there for Yakuza representation.
I think you go Yakuza 0.
Yeah. There's a lot of great stuff that we didn't draft. I mean, JRPGs are so deep and so terrific. I like that we just were like, yeah, we'll do like an hour 15 pod. We're like hour 40 pods back to back.
One of the biggest things that people asked was more content, longer podcasts. So there you go.
We're trying our best, everyone.
Yeah.
We're trying our best.
Chrono Cross I mentioned. Yeah, Chrono Cross, fantastic. Ni no Kuni, FF10, Chrono Trigger, Tales of Arise, and Dragon Quest 11. That's a great run of games right there. Concrete. All right. Done?
Yeah, I think that we're all set there. Well, this has been a hell of a podcast. Me and Connor still have probably 3 more hours of content to shoot today.
We're heading into the 4th of July week.
Yep.
Nick and I are out of town Thursday and Friday.
So Thursday, no stream from the team. That is 4th of July, obviously American holidays. So sorry, but it
didn't make any sense. Nick and I were out of town. Brady could have streamed, but like it's
also we don't want him to stream on the 4th.
Yeah.
We don't want him to have to do something on the 4th that's not have fun,
Right.
In vacation, and we don't want, honestly, like as much as we love our stream schedule, take a break and enjoy some time with some friends, family, and if you're not with any friends or family, play some games, have some fun, and enjoy the 4th if you are in the U.S. and if you're not in the U.S., still have some fun.
But you can expect your usual TikToks, your usual podcast postings and everything over the next couple weeks. So yeah, nothing else will change there. The only day that we're missing is that
Thursday. We'll be back Monday. Monday next week is group stream, but it's not group stream. It's Brady stream. Brady will be starting up Uncharted 3
from his own place.
I need you to remind me after Tuesday stream to drive over to Brady's and give him a capture card and everything. But yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. We're very, very excited for Brady's stream. It's going to be a great day and a great stream. And I'll definitely be watching some of it because how can you not watch that? Especially the opening of Uncharted 3 is so much fun. Yeah. I love Uncharted 3. Most underrated game ever.
Most ever.
It's
very underrated. I agree.
It's disgustingly underrated.
Yeah.
Like the way that Uncharted 2 and like Uncharted 3 might be like a 9, maybe a 9.5 out of 10 game.
10 out of 10. Greg Miller.
I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but like 9.5. Like it's as good as Uncharted 2, or it's really close, and it just doesn't get brought up that way. And Lost Legacy. Like it's disgustingly fun and good. When does stream start? Streams are 7 to 10, Monday to Thursday, every single week, except like we just said, Thursday this week, no stream. We've canceled or not had stream on like 1 or 2 days. Holidays ago is gonna be that prime example of, hey, we need to take time for ourselves. We need to hang out with some loved ones. We're traveling, which is always exciting for us. And before you leave, suggest me a random game to play on Xbox. Hi-Fi Rush.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh, yeah. Play Mass Effect 2.
Or the trilogy.
Or Hi-Fi Rush.
There you go.
Or Forza 5. Forza Horizon 5. Do it.
Inscription, if that's on there.
Yeah, I think it is.
Hotline Miami. All right. Yeah, we're going to close out here. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.